Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Nazir Ahmad and I am from Pakistan. Today we will learn about tips for effective tables used in manuscripts. These tips have been written by David A. Cook, Mayo Clinic Online Learning USA, Mayo Clinic College of Medicine USA. Let's start. Consider whether the table is really necessary. The information density, information per square inch, should be greater than just putting this information in the main text. Data that would require fewer than two columns and rows should be presented in the text rather than a table. The information should complement rather than duplicate information available elsewhere in the manuscript. Create a brief but explanatory title. Carefully select the data. Not all data are equally important, and thoughtfully organize the data to communicate a clear message. Ensure that the table can be easily interpreted without reference to the main text. Ensure that the table accurately reflects both the data and the intended message. Organize and order information to facilitate accurate and intuitive interpretation. Emphasize relationships, differences, patterns, interactions that most clearly communicate the central message. Provide sufficient information to allow interpretation in context. For example, historical data, comparison group, reference range, clearly indicate factors such as design changes or historical events that might influence data. Keep the table simple, clean, and free of extraneous detail. Distinguish counts, tallies of items or events, and measurements, readings or scores on a continuous or semi-continuous scale. Counts can be reported in absolute numbers, for example, the number of events, or proportions, such as the number of a given response from a larger number of observations. Proportional counts are typically summarized with numerator, denominator, and percentage. Ideally, all three. Absolute counts benefit from a reference range or explanation of context to enable meaningful interpretation, such as is 247 website visit per month a lot or a little. Measurements are typically summarized with an estimate of a central tendency. For example, mean, median, and estimate of variance. For instance, standard deviation, interquartile range, and the number of observations. Again, a reference range or context is helpful. A separate column is usually used for count versus measurements data. Although mixed data columns can be created if changes in cell contents are clearly indicated, such as with row labels or footnotes. The total number of observations can be reported in the column heading if consistent for that column. Verify the accuracy of all data. Create the table using your word processor table tool rather than using tabs and hard returns. Each piece of data should be contained in its own cell. This facilitates the publication process. Create a column heading for every column. Use row labels as needed for additional clarity. Identify probability level values, p-values in the table cells or using footnotes. resolve or explain all ambiguities and perceived incongruities such as changes in the number of responses leading to shifting denominators. Explain all abbreviations, special use of italics, parentheses, and dashes, special symbols, and empty cells. Example, a cell entry 46 by 50, we can say 92% should have a column heading or footnote explaining that this means number by n percentage. Keep an abbreviation consistent with the main text. Define all abbreviations using footnotes so that the table can stand alone. Consistently apply formatting. Within a table, consistently use emphasis, bold italics, line spacing, abbreviations, and column and row labels. Across tables, apply similar formatting for all tables in the manuscript. Follow all journal-specific instructions on the table creation. Use footnote symbols conforming to journal instructions such as asterisk, Y, Z, X, or A, B, C, D. Look at recent back issues of the journal for example. If the table or its data are from another source, cite the original source, refer to the table in the text. Place the table in the manuscript according to journal instructions, such as appended at the end, embedded in the main text, or submitted in a separate document. For additional information on table preparation, see the Purdue Online Writing Lab, OOL English Purdue.education.edu, and Weiner, Morgan, and Sakrieger et al. Thank you for watching my presentation. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon button. To link to this article, kindly copy this DOI and search in the search engine. Thank you.